What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome to episode number 6 of my SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 General Manager mode. We're here May 3rd in Kansas City, Kansas for this edition of SmackDown. So, as we can take a look at the match card, the matches that have already taken place. Paul London defeating Shelton Benjamin in a tables match to kind of spice things up a little bit. And we've got to go all out. We've got to go all out this episode. There's no holding back in this episode because we're coming off the Backlash pay-per-view for Raw. So we really need to have all hands on deck here for tonight's show. And since Raw decided to put the WWE Championship on the line, not only at Backlash, but before Backlash, we are putting the World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Championship both on the line in this week's episode. So this is quite possibly the biggest episode we'll ever have in the series in terms of an actual SmackDown show. But we can definitely guarantee that it is the biggest episode so far. It's the most important episode that we've had to this point because, I mean, we gotta bounce back. We gotta get the ratings back in our favor. We saw what happened in 2008 where we were behind in the ratings. We were in third place for basically the entire series. Up until, like, Survivor Series, maybe, when we were actually getting back in the hunt. We can't afford to let that happen. We gotta at least stay remotely close to Monday Night Raw. I know normally in the beginning of a series, the other brand tends to jump out ahead, but we don't want them to get too far ahead of us. I mean, we want to be able to at least be able to compete against them. We want to have a fair chance against Monday Night Raw. So, to do that, I decided, you know what, we're not pulling any punches, we're going to go all out. We are going to put our titles on the line, we're going to have some of our best superstars competing, and of course, it's also combining all these rivalries. I mean, we've got the Chris, Benoit, and Edge rivalry. Yes, I'm going to drop that joke because I'm running out of names to really replace it with, and I don't know. It's just kind of something that would be kind of difficult to keep up with after a while. And I feel like I was able to keep it up for, the first 4 episodes. It wasn't really a joke that was supposed to have a whole lot of longevity. Actually, the whole thing I did in episode 4 was supposed to be basically saved for the end of that joke, to basically signify that, hey, it was dead. So, we're done with that. Yes, it's Chris Benoit. I'm aware of that, and just to clarify, the whole joke wasn't meant to be anything to say, I really don't want to discuss the whole Benoit incident. I mean, that happened years ago. It's anything that could be discussed has been discussed, and there's nothing new I could say, or it's not something I want to discuss on my channel. I'm not going to gain anything out of talking about it. I have no personal problems with Chris Benoit as a wrestler. As an in-ring worker, I do believe he was one of the greatest of his time in terms of his in-ring ability, what he did for the business. But as for, his death and everything like that, I'd rather just not talk about the subject. So we're going to end that discussion there. If any of you were wondering my opinion on it for some reason, there you go. But that's it. You're not going to hear anything more than that, because it's just not something I feel comfortable discussing, not something I want to discuss. So that's it. So enough with that whole spiel. Let's take a look at this. Christian early on going for the kill switch, and he connects on Benoit. Now he's going to roll him over for the cover. Christian could win the title early here. No, Benoit able to quickly kick out of that one. And yeah, this matchup goes on for a while, long time. That's what I've kind of noticed, especially through this second recording of GM mode, where at first I thought it just went on for a while because I was bad at the game. And I mean, I'm not still that great. I still got to adjust to it. I still got to adapt to the controls and whatnot. But I mean, the matches are kind of slow-paced. Especially when it's something like a triple threat or a battle royal. So this episode, it is going to be a bit of a longer episode. Oh, German suplex by Benoit there, but Edge is there to get out. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a longer episode considering we have the triple threat match, and then of course we have the Battle Royal for the World Championship. And it's not an over-the-top Battle Royal, it's a pinfall submission Battle Royal, because I always enjoyed playing those kinds of Battle Royals in the older games. It's a shame that they were removed from some of the newer ones. I can't remember when they took it out, if it was maybe even WWE12 or maybe later than that. But, you know, I always enjoyed the pinfall Battle Royals. It was something different. You didn't always have to throw people over the top rope. Look at this. Edge, he has that submission hold applied, almost like a variant of the sharpshooter. And look at this. Christian, he's on the outside, just goading Chris Benoit, just like insulting him. Here is Edge, though. He's got to break the submission hold at a count of 4. And as you can see right now, this is just unfair. Edge and Christian, they're just blatantly double-teaming Chris Benoit here. And here we go. Edge, he's setting him up for the spear to Chris Benoit. And that could be it. Edge could be about to retain his title. Wait a minute, Christian! Christian with a bulldog to Edge here. And now if he can just pin Benoit, and that's exactly what he's going to do, but Edge is there to break it up. And Christian, perhaps a bit of dissension here between Edge and Christian. No, I don't think that's really the case. I wouldn't really call it dissension. I mean, they both realize what's on the line. The United States Championship is up for grabs. I'm sure if Edge was in Christian's position, he would do the exact same thing. So I wouldn't really consider this some sort of falling out between the two. It's just that they both have got this opportunity. They're going to do whatever it takes to win. That's what you got to do in a match like this. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to walk out with the title. As we can see, Christian, he's looking for the kill switch yet again, planting Benoit, but Edge was going to get in there to break that one up. We fast forward later on in the matchup because, as you can see, it's been 10 minutes already for this match. I mean, for crying out loud, it really, you know, it can, especially when you get matches back to back, and, you know, for episode after episode where matches tend to be, you know, this long, it's really going to drag things down a bit. It's going to slow down the pace. So I do apologize for skipping ahead if you would rather see things, you know, in full capacity. Wait a minute, Edge has got the crossface locked in here on Benoit, but Benoit was lucky there. Christian was able to break it up. But imagine if Benoit was beaten with his own submission move right there. That would be humiliating. But Benoit, of course, he's had this rivalry with Edge over the past number of weeks. And Benoit, at this point, it's now or never for him. I mean, he's just been losing match after match against Edge, against Christian. So Benoit, if he's going to win that United States Championship, I think it's got to be now, because otherwise somebody else is going to get a shot at that U.S. title. It's not going to be Benoit, because, I mean, he really hasn't been producing the wins to really... Wait a minute, cover here by Christian. The roll-up on Benoit could have him, too, but it's broken up by Edge. So, I mean, if you're going to challenge for a championship, you can't lose all the time, because then, you know, you can't win championships by losing. So, I mean, you can't even earn shots for... I mean, if you're... Losers don't win championships. That's the only way I can really say it. And Benoit, he has been a loser. He hasn't really been winning very many matches in this GM mode so far. So he really needs this win tonight, or a win next week. I mean, Benoit, he's got to turn things around. But I'd say if he loses here, somebody else is going to need to, you know, be given that opportunity against Edge. And as you can see, I'm trying to dive out of the ring, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. I don't know if you got to hit a certain button, or I don't know what it is. But I do know that I do not know how to Irish Whip yet in this game, because I haven't really looked up the controls or anything. I know how to reverse, or not reverse. I know how to Irish Whip in 2007, but I do not remember how to Irish Whip in 2006. And I know it is something different because I've tried the 2007 way of Irish whipping, and it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to figure that out yet. And look at Edge here, planting Benoit face first into the mat. But Christian, once again, going to try to capitalize, as he's got Edge in a sleeper hold here. Maybe just more of a headlock, I guess, would be more appropriate. But Edge able to get out of that one. He was able to escape it. Christian, though, going back to work on Edge. Poke to the eye. What a dirty move there by Christian. But of course, this is a triple threat matchup, so no disqualification. As you can see, Edge, whoa, Edge just got taken out with a chop there by Benoit. Wait a minute, Edge playing possum here. Christian, he's too busy taunting to the fans. 2, 3, Edge, he steals one. Benoit got caught off guard, and Edge, he rolls him up. And Christian, you know, he tried to break it up in the last second, but I guess he missed. And that allowed Edge to retain the championship, so Edge, he'll live to fight another day. He's still the United States champion. But will Triple H be able to say the same for the World Heavyweight Championship at the end of this one? Because he's defending the gold against not 1, not 2, not 3, and not 4, but 5 other opponents in a battle royal. And just looking at the mass amount of humanity that's going to be in this one, we've got The Big Show, Batista, Kane. Just take a look at those 3 superstars alone with their power, their size. And then, of course, you factor in the more, you know, the more high-flying superstars. Not really high-flying, but they can move around the ring a bit quicker. They're more of a speedier style, guys like Orton, Kurt Angle, and Triple H. I mean, Triple H, he's just the cerebral assassin. He's a fighter. He'll battle you with it until his dying breath. You'll have to kill him to get that title from him. You know, he may be a bit cowardly at times. He may hide behind other people, but in the end, Triple H, he can fight his own battles. So that's exactly what he's going to have to do here tonight. He's fighting a huge battle. The odds are definitely stacked against him. I mean, obviously, it's a 5 in 6 chance that he'll be losing his World Heavyweight Championship here tonight. This is one of the worst odds Triple H is ever going to have to face in this GM mode. I mean, I'd have to say at this point in the series, you look at someone like The Big Show, who's been looking mighty impressive, just defeating anyone who steps up to face him. But since it is still fairly early on, you've guys like Batista and Orton who are still kind of, they're a bit iffy. Kurt Angle also, he's kind of meh. I mean, we don't know. He's probably not on his best game at the moment, so that would be why I would have to say Triple H, this isn't the worst odds he could be facing. I mean, these aren't the worst odds. I can't English today. What is up? But these aren't the worst. I can't talk. Jeez. These are not the worst odds he could be facing. Thank you very much. I gotta, like, slap myself in the face, wake myself up. I don't know why I can't talk today. I guess this is what happens when I haven't been able to do very many commentaries over the course of time, so I had to combine a bunch of them in one day. So this is going to be my last one in this session, but I have done a couple of episodes, whether it's GM mode, Universe mode, just getting the commentaries done, so I don't know if you'll be able to pick up any tendencies from previous videos that I recently uploaded, but that's not that important. I'm just rambling at this point. As you can see, Batista, he was going for a two-handed chokeslam, but Triple H fought his way out of it. Backbreaker there to Kurt Angle. And we can see we've got Kane in the mask this episode. I know I was saying last episode that I wasn't sure whether I wanted Kane to be in the mask, to not be wearing the mask. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do exactly with Kane, so I figured, you know what, last episode, we went without the mask. Let's go with the mask for this episode. And like I said, if you want me to make it a part of some sort of storyline, if maybe he should start out with or without the mask and then find some way to transition to the opposite. Or if you think, you know, maybe just spice it up a little bit. Maybe one week Kane can be in the mask, and the next week I can have him not wear the mask. Not exactly sure how I'm going to be doing that, but like I said, be sure to let me know down in the comment section. Still looking for tag teams as well. Like I said, I did this commentary after the last one, so like I said in the last video, leave me some suggestions for tag teams, because I haven't been able to really check out the feedback yet. So maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but I would really enjoy it if you would leave me some potential tag teams, and that doesn't just have to be superstars who are on the show. If there's anybody you think I should trade for to make a tag team, perhaps. I mean, it's kind of difficult when there really aren't a lot of tag teams in this year's game. I mean, there's no Hardys in this game because they weren't in the WWE at this point in time. I mean, I think in 2005 Matt Hardy came back, but I think he was too late to make the cut. And the same probably with Jeff. I don't think he came back till 2006, so he didn't make the cut either. I can't really think of many other tag teams. I mean, there's the Basham brothers, but I don't really know if I want the Basham brothers. I don't know much about the Basham brothers. There's a lot of superstars on this year's roster that I don't know a whole lot about because this would have been back in 2005 before I watched wrestling. I didn't start actually watching wrestling on a regular basis until 2007. So there are going to be superstars in this year's game that I don't really recognize. Oh, in 2007, the video game, there were at least the majority of the superstars I was able to recognize. I was like, oh, I know that guy, I know that guy. But in 06, a lot of the smaller talent on the roster, the lower popularity guys, I don't know a whole lot about. You know, as I've progressed through, you know, watching WWE, I've learned more about other superstars, but there are still a lot in this year's game that I don't know. Guys like Rene Dupree, Daivari, I really don't know a whole lot about him. You know, just superstars like that. I know like the Basham brothers and Orlando Jordan, or at least in the season mode, they work for JBL. I assume that's the case. That was the case in real WWE as well. But I don't know. I just don't know a lot about these guys, which is why probably the lower popularity dudes would be the jobbers. That's how I would pick them out. But like I said, any ideas for tag teams, whether it's someone in the free agency, somebody on Raw, somebody who's a legend, pair them up with somebody else, let me know down in the comment section. Oh, look at that, Triple H with a low blow to Kane, and now that's going to set him up for the pedigree. And that could be it. Good night, Kane. Covered by Triple H. 1, 2, 3. Kane has been eliminated. So the Big Red Machine, his opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship, at least for tonight, has gone up in smoke as Triple H has just pedigreed him. He just had his He just had his pedigree checked. And now look at this. Submission hold by Batista as he's really wrenching on Kurt Angle's neck there. Big knee drop to the face of the Big Show from the game, Triple H. And now Hunter, he's going after the legs of Kurt Angle here. Is that a figure 4, perhaps? Oh, look at Kane. Kane just hung up Batista there in the ropes. As I forgot for a moment that in a Battle Royal, when you get eliminated, you don't have to leave ringside. You can stay there and interfere in the match all you'd like. So these 5 superstars are going to have to watch out. We can even see some brawls ensue on the outside, so that'll be interesting. Although Kane at the moment, after attacking Batista, hasn't really done much else. He's just kind of watching at the moment, but I'm sure he'll pick his spot when he feels the need. And now Big Show and Batista are going at it. Kurt Angle, he's got a sleeper hold applied here on Randy Orton. Orton's in trouble. Could be on the verge of tapping out, perhaps, or passing out. As, yes, Randy Orton submits. He's out of this thing. Kurt Angle has just eliminated Randy Orton. And now look at this. Look at Batista. Batista's got the Big Show up. He's thinking Batista bomb. Look at the strength of Batista. Powerbomb to the Big Show. That's got to be it. 2 count. What? Not even a 2 count. Batista was unable to put the Big Show away with a Batista bomb. I don't know how, but somehow Big Show was able to kick out of the Batista bomb before even a 2 count. I mean, I know he's a giant. He's the world's largest athlete. Much more in his prime at this point in his career than nowadays. But, I mean, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Randy Orton just hung up Batista on the ropes, and now Triple H into a pedigree. Randy Orton, he just stabbed Batista in the back. Covered by Triple H. 2, 3, Batista. Oh, my God. Batista has just lost his opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship thanks to Randy Orton, his tag team partner. And now Batista, you can see he's furious, attacking Kurt Angle right there. And now Batista, he's going after Kane here. Poor Kane didn't even really do anything, but Batista pile driver out onto the floor. As Randy Orton just went by, but Orton, he was able to scurry out of harm's way. Batista now just continuing the assault on Kane here. And Batista, he's furious. You know, you had to think Batista, he was looking very impressive in this thing. Oh, wait a minute, he's got Kane up on his Batista bomb. Batista bomb onto the outside, onto the floor, and oh no, Randy Orton, He got too close for comfort, and now Batista. Batista's going after Orton. Batista's out for revenge. Back suplex out onto the floor. And man, as we got action going on in the ring, Batista, he's just losing it out on the outside. I mean, Orton just cost him an opportunity at the World Championship. How can Batista not be furious? I mean, Batista was looking very good. I mean, he hit that Batista bomb on Big Show earlier on. As you can see now, he's just unleashing his fury on Kane and Randy Orton. He's just attacking anything that moves. But, you know, up until Orton attacked him, he was looking good. But then Orton just out of nowhere caught Batista off guard. And now Batista, he's looking to make Orton pay. Batista bomb out to the floor on Randy Orton. And Batista, he has just lost it here tonight. And Batista just unleashing his rage on Kane, on Randy Orton. And now Big Show, he's looking to take Angle down with a choke slam. Let's actually focus back on the action in the ring. Oh, and Triple H sneaks in for the cover. And Triple H, well, he's going to get the last laugh over Angle. As Triple H, now he can say he's eliminated Kurt Angle from this matchup. Even though it was really all Big Show's doing. Big Show hit him with the choke slam. And Triple H, you know, he was just so he can say that he eliminated Kurt Angle, he managed to sneak in for the pinfall. But wow. Batista, I think he's finally calmed down now. I mean, really just fighting with everyone on the outside. It's just gonna, at this point, I mean, look at this. We're 13 minutes in. He really, you know, he's got to save his energy for another day. He doesn't want to overexert himself to perhaps cause an injury. And wait a minute. Oh, Triple H ducked an attempted clothesline from Big Show. And now Pedigree busting Big Show open. Covered by Triple H. Oh, don't tell me. Triple H is going to get the win. Triple H retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Big Show, he had been softened up from the Batista bomb earlier. And Triple H with that pedigree putting the Big Show away. It was no easy feat, but he did manage to defeat the Big Show. And Triple H, he overcame the odds. He outlasted his opponents. And it appears as though SmackDown plus 270,000 fans. Yeah, buddy. And that's right. I did, in fact, I'm playing a little bit of mind games with Monday Night Raw. I did one of those promos, and we can also see that Kane, he's got a strained hamstring, which is not too serious, but we are going to have to be careful with him over the next couple of weeks. But yes, I was running a slander promotion about Monday Night Raw, so that probably swayed the ratings in our favor a bit more as well. But let's take a look at the ratings for the past week. Monday Night Raw, they were in Germany. Well, that's pretty cool, but ratings were not all that impressive. They got a 1.5 star, which I in fact think that's a bit low rating for what they managed to put on. But take a look at our show. We did get a 2.5 star, which is definitely better than Raw's. And our main event was a 4.5 star. Now, if only the rest of the card could have matched up to that, we would have had an epic show. But unfortunately, we didn't quite get, I mean, fortunately, the whole card wasn't really evened out that it was able to, you know, balance out the ratings. But we did get the rating we needed. We did surpass Raw in terms of this week's ratings, so we did gain a solid amount of fans. It wasn't bad at all. And as we can see, taking a look at some of our popularity, all our morale is good. Fatigue did go up, though, from that Battle Royal. So we are going to have to be careful with how we book those superstars next week. Especially Kane, now that he's got that strained hamstring. And taking a look at some of our rivalries as some of them continue. We've got some 4-week rivalries going on. Although I think one of them is going to have to be cut short due to the actions of the Battle Royal. I mean, those events definitely are going to shake things up a little bit. But as you can see, we're still a fair amount of fans behind Raw. So we got a little more catching up to do. But that is it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. And until next time, keep on YouTubing.